Hello, one and all. Welcome back to the GeniusCast. I actually got it out in a week this time. I was able to find another guest today. It's a pretty special episode. Today, our guest is none other than TheGameSalmon, a good friend of mine on YouTube. Good YouTuber. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So I would say that this episode is going to be pretty unique because up to this point, I've only been interviewing game devs. For those of you who have not seen, if this is your first episode of the GeniusCast, basically how it works is I will be interviewing a game dev or a YouTuber about how they do things, whether if they're making videos or if they're making games and stuff. I'll be asking questions that you guys ask on Twitter and my community tab post, and it's more of the behind the scenes thing. But yeah, I feel like today's going to be a bit more of a unique episode because we're going to get a bit of background and behind the scenes on Sam over here. And if you are ready to go, we will proceed. Sam, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to get exposed here.
Okay, let's see. We're going to begin with the community tab post. Yes, which is usually what I do. All right, our first question for today is from Nintendo Boy, and he says, Sam, throughout your YouTube career, what have been your biggest ups and downs?
Oh, really diving into an intense one right off the bat.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you for everyone who asked a question, because they think it was like 3-4 days ago that you made a tweet in a community post, right?
Yes, we got a lot of questions. Yeah.
Yes, and so we did get a lot of questions, and just thank you guys for, participating in this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that out of the way. Down. Let's see. I mean, it's YouTube. There are ups, there are downs. I would say my biggest down, though, probably was last year in October. Some of you guys know if you've been around for a while, but last October, my YouTube channel got hacked.
I remember that.
Now, it was actually hacked in September, and the person who I'm assuming it was like some sort of bot that got in. Like, someone or something got in, changed the account owner to them. Yes, and I actually didn't know what happened until I was trying to do some other stuff. And when I noticed it, I reached out to YouTube and Google to say, hey, took over the primary ownership of the account. Can we try to fix this? And in the middle of trying to fix this, I think Google thought that I was the hacker, like me. And so they cut me out. No access to upload videos, to community posts saying what happened. Really, all I had was Twitter, and I have a really good following on Twitter, but it's not the 80,000 that I have on YouTube, and so there are plenty of people. It's YouTube. People disappear for a while, like, oh my God, he's dead. I'm like, no, I've been gone for a little bit. I'm fine. It's okay. Now, I was really upset because I didn't know what was going to happen, but thank goodness it shaped up. But scary to kind of lose your channel like that. So really, that's kind of the biggest down that I had. It was really nice to have so many people on Twitter kind of reach out to me and give me that support and try to get Team YouTube involved, which actually Team YouTube did reach out to me and we were able to figure it out. It just took much longer than I wanted it to, but that's just kind of the bureaucracy of everything. That's a tough one because it's more like, I don't think there's ever been one moment that I have like a clear up on YouTube. It's more like general feelings that I have at certain times. Like, for example, this summer, I had about 2 weeks where my videos were doing incredible. Tens of thousands of views every video that I was putting up. This was around the time Dark Deception Chapter 3 came out and Around the Clock demo.
Oh, yeah.
And so
that was a good time for me, too.
Right? Yeah, it was a good time, like, because a lot of great horror games were coming out that run in the same circles that I do. Everyone's kind of playing the same games. Everyone is really riding this horror gaming high on YouTube. And so that was like a really, really fun moment. For one specific summer, I think it was the summer of 2015. Favorite time being a YouTuber. Now, this was back 2,000 subscribers, just like only 2,000. But I just remember having a lot of fun through, what was it called? Super Mario Star Road.
I think I remember that. I think I remember that a little bit. I guess I found your channel around then, and I think I remember seeing videos of that from you. That was ages ago, dude.
That's 4 years. Oh my god, it's 4 years ago.
Yeah, man. 4.
It was just a really fun summer because I had just finished my first year of graduate school. I didn't have anything really going on. I was taking one class over the summer that honestly had a lot of information I already knew, and so I had a lot of free time that I just decided to pour into YouTube, and so it was just a lot of fun. So I hope that answers the question as accurately as possible.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's a good answer. Because, like, yeah, I agree with you. It's like, it's hard to, like, pinpoint, one specific, thing that you would consider an up, because there's so many good moments throughout the years, and it's hard to decide, like, which one is, the best. I completely agree. I'd
Absolutely.
Say, yeah.
And there have been, like, moments in my YouTube career that honestly are somewhat life-changing, but I didn't realize it at the time. Omar Sabali is a great example. Omar Sabali is my best friend. And I reached out to the dude around 10,000 subscribers just because I thought he was a cool guy. I wanted to collab. I didn't know that I would honestly become lifelong friends with him. Like, we talk almost every day.
Yeah, I didn't know, because I've always wondered, like, how you and Omar met. So that's interesting. You just reached out to him and asked him if he wanted to collab, and that's all it took?
A little bit. It was a bit of a process because at the time, and I, of course, are just very busy people. I reached out to him because I thought he had a lot of energy. I thought I would vibe with him, and this was around the time that I was kind of looking to find some people to collab with. I was looking to expand my brand, and so initially, when I asked him if he wanted to collab, he actually said, "No, thank you. I really only collab with friends of mine. Maybe, sometime in the future." And I said, "Okay, no, that sounds good." So around summer of 2016, because I remember, like, the first conversation I had with him, like, on Twitter. And then from there, we just kind of kept talking. And then we eventually decided, yeah, let's do that collab. And so we collabed, we vibed, and it just kind of snowballed into a friendship. So
that's awesome. And his channel is doing really freaking well. He's got, like, what, almost 500K now?
It's so weird because I used to be bigger than Omar Sabali.
Yeah, it's
and every once in a while I'm like, dang it.
Yeah, I know the feeling, man. Yeah, that's really interesting, and I'm glad you and him are such good friends. And it's funny because later down the line here, I think somebody asks about him and Chica, because of course you got to have one question about him and Chica, right?
No, of course, no, absolutely.
Okay, let's see, what's our next one? This next one's from Dylan Mosser. He says, "Sam, what is your plan for your channel's future?"
I think about that every day. Sometimes it's very hard for me to think about the channel's future. For those of you who don't know, I have a day job. YouTube, I'm not only a YouTuber. YouTuber is just kind of what I do at night, and it was a hobby turned job. I am a school psychologist. I just finished my I just finished getting my graduate degree, getting a PhD in school psychology. So I work in the local school systems here in Arizona, helping kiddos during the day, during school hours. And so, needless to say, working with kids all day, it's very exhausting. And there's not many opportunities that I get to sit down and really try to think about what I'm going to be doing next. A lot of the times I have a running list of ideas for videos, like the top 10 videos that I did a while back. Those were video ideas that I was trying to make for like months, and I actually have something in the works right now. It's not a top 10, but it was very day to day. After we hit 100,000 subscribers, my new goal after that is probably going to be 250,000 subscribers, and I'm going to start focusing on that. I do want to make changes to the channel, good changes. Like, I don't want to like stop playing horror games or being a horror YouTuber. I just want to add something to it to make me stand out. I don't know what that is yet. I'll figure it out though. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm the same way. You know, I've been trying to really branch out with my stuff. It's difficult though, because you never know like what people are gonna want to see, and you know, these days it's always kind of like a specific audience wants this one thing, and you know, at the same time, and on one hand it's like you want to go try other things, and on the other hand it's like, oh well, if I don't do this, then you know it doesn't please them. But I want to do this. It's like it's very conflicting sometimes. And
YouTube is an interesting dance, because on one hand, you want to be famous, you want to get the views, you want to grow. On the other hand, and see, you got to find that nice balance of that in between where you're having fun, but you're also making videos that will pull more people in, that'll get people excited, that'll get people interested.
Exactly. Yeah, it's hard to find that balance, and you know, I think there's some people that there are a lot of people that have found that balance, but you know, I guess it's just you can never tell when that balance is going to happen, and it seems like it's almost like winning the lottery these days, you know, on YouTube. Like
it feels that way.
I agree. You know, having fun is more important than anything. If you're playing a game just to play it and you're not having fun with it, then it'll definitely show. And I never force myself to play or do anything if I know that it's gonna like show that, like, because I was gonna record a video today, but then I thought, you know what, you know, I've been dealing with a lot of hard stuff this week, which, you know, I'm not gonna get into for the sake of this, but you know, if I am not feeling up to it and I'm not motivated to record something, I won't, because it'll show in my recording. Like it'll show that the happy face that I'm putting on is not all there. It's not completely real. And whenever I record, I want to make sure that I am happy, I'm energetic, and I'm ready to go. That's always my mindset.
Yeah, having fun on YouTube, like, you have to have fun on YouTube, or else you're unfortunately gonna burn out. That's why you see so many people burn out, especially early on.
Yeah, they try to get going and they work really hard, and then when they see that they're not going anywhere, you know, they lose motivation, and you know, and yeah, like you said, they burn out, and it's unfortunate.
It's beyond unfortunate. I have seen so many YouTubers who are less than 10,000 subscribers that, in my opinion, are more entertaining than me and are much better editors. And I really am lucky to reach the point that I'm at, and I'm very thankful for that. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just feel like it's a travesty, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree.
That these people end up getting burnt out and kind of fall off the face of YouTube, or just content creation.
Yeah, I hope that doesn't keep happening to people. You know, the world needs more, you know, entertainers like that, because, you know, we're starting to run a little dry. You know, you don't find a lot of, you know, like Dashy, for example. Like, you know, he's one of the only few YouTubers that I watch now, because
I swear that is like the funniest man on the planet.
Dashy.
Oh my god,
Dashy's amazing, and you know, and that's why it kind of disappoints me that Corey is gone again, because, you know, I don't know what's going on this time with him, but you know, he was an example of, you know, the one of those few YouTubers that I still watch. It's like they still have that energy and that charm, and it's like you don't find a lot of people like that these days anymore. I hope that maybe this is just a divot in the YouTube road, and hopefully it'll smooth out in the future. All right, so our next question is from Cubby2002. If you hit 100k subs, will you shave your mustache and beard?
First of all, no. That's such an interesting question. I don't know really how to respond to that. The answer is no. I feel like if I shave my mustache and beard, it's gonna throw off too many kids that I work with during my day job. It's gonna freak them out. If you're curious what I look like without a mustache or beard, just go watch some of my old videos. I only started keeping the mustache and beard up until 2 years ago. So,
yeah. People ask me the same thing if I'm gonna shave my beard and mustache, and it's like I just there's a reason why I haven't fully shaved in 3 years. Like, because I prefer the way I look with, you know, I don't, because back in like 2017, like I had an almost hobo beard. Like I didn't keep it trimmed or anything at all, and it was getting really wild. But you know, in the past couple of years, I'm like, all right, well, if I'm not gonna shave, I'm gonna at least keep it trimmed. So you know, every week or so, I'll trim it. But yeah, you know, to those of you who are...
I'll trim mine, but in terms of like just a full shave...
Yeah, no.
I don't know about that.
I think that's no for both of us there. So yeah, there's your answer, Cubby. Sam will not shave his beard. All right, this next one is from Ruben Rafael Rivera Terrazas. That's an interesting username. He asks, how old are you? You're 27, right? Or 26?
I am 27 as of this past June.
Got it. So I got it right the first time. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to believe you're 6 years older than me. When I heard you were 27, I was like, dang. I thought I was a little bit closer in age than that. But yeah, you're...
I know. Of all the met thus far on YouTube, I tend to be older than most of them. There's a couple people who are older than me, but you, Omar, a couple of my other friends, Noah and Logan Knipschuis.
Oh, we're all...
Thank you for making me think of my mortality.
Well, like at least we're all in the same kind of age range, in the you know, the mid to upper 20 range. So we're all not that far off from each other.
Right, of course.
All right, this next one is from Spicy Fang Gamer. What would you do if your channel reached 1 million subscribers?
I feel like that's similar to a lot of questions that I get asked at, like, what am I going to do at such and such milestone? What am I going to do at such and such milestone? I feel like I've answered this a little bit in that I kind of have to think day to day to day. I don't have anything super extra special planned for 1 million. I think it would be amazing to reach 1 million subscribers. I know that's going to be a little far off, but if I'm in the position where I'm about to reach 1 million subscribers, I probably am doing YouTube full time, like as my only job. I hopefully I would have something special planned, like some sort of super extra special thing. I really don't know. I'll subscribers. I'm gonna figure out if I can do something special for you guys.
You could do a draw your life or draw my life.
My God, yeah, just a whole bunch of stick figures and lines that no one knows what they are. I am a horrible drawer. I could do a draw my life, but the whole era of draw my life is kind of over, right? That trend is kind of over.
Yeah,
and so by the time we reach 1 million subscribers, maybe some other trend is going to come across, and maybe we can jump on that bandwagon. Again, you know, you have to stay relevant. You gotta, you know, be in the here and now.
Yeah, that's true. All right, next one is from Betty Singleton. What is your favorite Mario game?
Oh my God. Are we counting Yoshi and Wario games?
I'm thinking I think if you were to ask about a Nintendo game, I'd say that, but I think he means specifically Mario.
Specifically Mario, because I was gonna say Wario Land 2, because that's a great one. Mario, I'm gonna have to say Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say mine's Galaxy.
Galaxy was really good. About Galaxy when it first came out, but it's actually a pretty good game.
It is. It's a lot of, I mean, mostly it's like nostalgia for me because I remember playing it as a kid, but it's like, I don't know, like people, like, as much as I love Odyssey, like people are saying like, oh, Odyssey is the best Mario game. It's like, no, I think even though Odyssey was good, but I think Galaxy's better.
It was incredible, or is still incredible, for so many reasons. It really is.
It holds up really freaking well.
For a while. Graphically, it's just stunning. But I just have too many. Oh, I mean, maybe I'm blinded by nostalgia here. I have too many great memories of Sunshine. I loved all of the levels. I love water. I love beaches. I love the ocean. And so really that just fits in I like in general. So
I have yet to play Sunshine, and I've seen so many playthroughs of it, and I just need to get, like, because my I have a USB GameCube controller that stopped working a while back. I need to get a new one. I need to download Sunshine emulator or Sunshine ROM for Dolphin on my computer, and I need to sit and play it. I need to experience it because I know that so many people are like, "Hey, you need to play Mario Sunshine." I could make that a Sunday series on my channel. I need to do that.
It's really fun. You will not regret it.
I bet I won't. I have seen plenty of gameplay of it, so I know how fun it is. But yeah, that's definitely a future Sunday series in the works. All right, next one is from Non-Console. And earlier when the question that Nintendo Boy asked about your biggest ups and downs on YouTube, he asked what was your worst downfall on YouTube? Would you say that you being hacked is that the same kind of thing?
I do think that would be considered my worst downfall. A downfall almost means like that I've fallen off of YouTube. I don't think downfall is the right word there. But yeah, I would say that that's like probably the worst thing that has happened to me.
Yeah, that I would agree. But his main question is, what has made your over time? I mean, I'm kind of trying to phrase it because he kind of words it in a way that's kind of confusing.
I see that. I think he's trying to ask me what is good and how did I improve over time. I'm assuming that's the question he's trying to ask. The grammar's a little out there.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think as a general rule of thumb, for any YouTuber who has been making videos for a while, if you look back at your old videos at how badly they were edited, or if you cringe on how like you did the commentary, that means you're doing something right. That actually means that you are growing and improving as a content creator. I rarely I need to go do this because I haven't done it in a while. I need to go back and look at some of my old videos and just cringe to remind me that I've come so far. Improve, I just learned about the editing software that I was using. I upgraded my equipment. A year ago, I got a green screen. Over the past several years, I was constantly looking for ways to improve my videos, whether it was how they looked, how they sounded, how they were edited. A lot of that comes with practice, and a lot of that comes with making really videos. You have to start somewhere. Very few people start off making incredible content right off the bat. Process. And I hope that in 2-3 years time, I'm gonna look back at the videos that I upload like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? Like, I hope that happens because that means I am growing and improving. So,
dude,
I hope that fully answers the question.
Yeah, I think it does. I will go back and look at like my old, like, cause I'm sure you know that Five Nights at Max at Night has got to be my most popular series on my channel, hands down. So I'll go back and look at like the really old ones, like the first few videos from like the first game, and I'm just like, how are people entertained by this? It's just it's just, oh man, I agree that like that going back and looking at your old videos is definitely a good thing to do, because it does remind you just how far you've come. Like every time, because I've made it kind of a yearly tradition to do like a reacting to old videos every November, and I've been doing that for like 3 years now, and every time I do that, I'll go back and look at the very first vlog that I did on YouTube, and that was January of 2013. And as much as I love like picking fun at myself because of, you know, I don't, have you seen how I looked back in 2013? Because it was not a pretty sight.
I shielded my eyes immediately. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
No, if you did shield your eyes, I would not blame you. But Yeah, I did not look the greatest then, and of course my videos back then were just, I don't even want to even call them videos, they were that bad. But yeah, I will do that just to remind myself that I have come all that way. And so I think that's good advice for anybody that's been making videos. Just if you want to know how to improve yourself and you want to see how far you've come, just go back and look at your old stuff, and you will definitely can compare then to now, and it'll always be a big comparison.
Other people are doing, I'm not saying copy them, but a lot of the editing kind of in between cuts that I've learned how to edit in, I learned just from other horror YouTubers like Poised or Omar, and they would do a cool edit. I'm like, wow, that's a cool edit. I wonder how they did that. And then I'd research how they did that edit, and then I would just incorporate that into my repertoire. Same thing with, like, if I see a really cool thumbnail, I'm like, dang, how did he do that effect on this thumbnail? And so I would learn that and then put that into the repertoire. It's also about looking forward and trying to do something different and better than you did the video that you did yesterday, right?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the one instance that I feel like I'm sure you watch 8-Bit Ryan, you know him?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I always liked the little zoom in thing, the little zoom in animation that he would do whenever like he begins a game, where he's like, this is Ryan here and welcome to this game, and like he does like that cool little like zoom in like animation to the title of the game and then back out, and
yep.
You know, he does it so freaking, it's like smooth as butter. Ryan's got to be one of the best editors on YouTube by far. He's incredible.
He is up there. His videos, he's got to spend upwards of 6, 7, 8 hours per video. That's the same for Rezbowski. He's got to be editing, really a majority of the day, both of them. They're really incredible editors.
They are, man. And anyway, but the point I was making is that like I kind of started doing that with when I introduced the game, like where I'm like, welcome to this game, and I did the little like and then it zooms in and then continues zooming in slower and then zooms back out. Like I like that transition, and it is a bit of a pain to do in Premiere though, because you gotta add gotta go a few frames up, then add in keyframes, zoom it in, add 2 more keyframes, and then zoom in more a little bit, and then add more keyframes, and then zoom back out, add another 2 keyframes. So you can tell it gets kind of a little bit of pain in the butt, but it ends up looking good in the finished product. And
it's amazing how much editing can go even into 5 seconds of a particular funny edit that you want to do. There have been some times that I've been stuck on like a 10 to 15 second segment of just a funny edit that I was trying to pull off, and it took me like upwards of 40 minutes to do out of a 15-minute video. So sometimes it's the scariest part, because that's where the magic happens. That's I feel like in some ways that's what a lot of people are coming to your channel to see, how you edit goes into the finished product. I think that a lot of people go to 8-Bit Ryan for his particular editing style. People come to you for your particular style. People come to me for our particular style. And at the same time, we're trying to grow and improve and get better. So again, that just goes back into that dance of YouTube of what's going to work, what doesn't work, and how do you improve.
Yeah, exactly. I fully agree. It just depends on taste. All right, next one is from Photo Negative Mickey. What if you aren't jazzy enough?
And if I'm not jazzy enough, I'm gonna delete my channel right now.
I'm surprised there aren't any other
jazz questions.
Yeah, jazz salmon questions here. I don't think I see any of them here. Oh, okay. Here's one. There's one on Twitter. Never mind. There is one. Okay. This next one is from Michael Charlanis. Which FNAF fan games that you have voice acted in do you classify as your most and least favorite?
Oh wow. My favorite, Five Nights at Sonic's 4.
Oh yeah, 4 was good.
Because I voice acted. I can't really remember who I voice acted. I think I was voice acting Nightmare Sonic or something like that. I was supposed to be kind of evil, and I did it in one take, but I was really happy with how it turned out. Looking back, I think I could have done better. Like, all the voice acting that I've done for any Five Nights at Freddy's game, I feel like I could have done better. But that one in particular, I remember it in for Five Nights at Sonic's 4. I was just really happy with it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember, because it's been ages since I played any of those games. I think the last time I did that was when I streamed the Five Nights at Sonic's collection, and that was almost a year ago already. But yeah, do you have a least favorite? 'Cause I think, yeah, Michael asked what was your most and least favorite. Do you have any ones that, any games that you voice acted in that you ended up not liking?
Yes. I mean, I enjoyed voice acting all of them, but I remember one distinct time that I thought back to Five Nights at Tubbyland 2, because I voice acted the phone guy in Five Nights at Tubbyland 2 and 3. Wish that I could have done better. Like, I felt like I was just kind of reading off of the page rather than trying to act it and be a phone guy. I think that may have been my first as being a FNAF phone guy. It may have been. I don't know. I've kind of lost track of games I have voice acted in. I really don't do any much voice acting currently. A lot of them have been just kind of general favors, or if there's a particularly big game like Five Nights at Tubbyland or Sonic's, or well, really, I was about to say that I didn't voice act any FNAF games recently. There was a guy who reached out to me and asked me to his game, and I did it just because I didn't have much to do that day, so I figured I'd just kind of help out the FNAF community. I can't even remember the game. Oh, I feel like a jerk. But it was just like a really, really small game. I just felt like doing it. But
so many FNAF fan games now that they just kind of blend together. So
I really do. But the ones that I'm known for, Five Nights at Tubbyland series and Five Nights at Sonic series, and if you play the Dave Microwave games, it extends outside FNAF, because I actually play myself in the Strange Terror games that Dave has created.
Yeah, it was fun running into your character in those games. I remember the first time I ran into you in from Beyond the Stars, and then you got snapped up by that alien and you died. I was like, oh.
That was fun.
It was traumatizing, but also hilarious. But yeah, I love voice acting as well. It's always fun to do that sort of thing. I've always been happy that Mickey will reach out and ask if I want to voice act for the Back Tonight games, and it was really, really awesome that for Ivan to ask me to voice act for Jollibees, and I got a lot of compliments on that, saying that I did really good. And basically, Ivan was like, "All right, just do your best bored voice." And I was like, "You got it." And I just sounded as bored as possible, and apparently I nailed it. But I'm happy that people enjoyed that. But Jollibees, I appreciate it, man. Jollibees was really good. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, and I actually totally forgot until this moment. I voice acted your game.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did. You were in Five Nights at Bud's.
I was the phone guy for Five Nights at Bud's.
Yeah, but you did a good job at that too, and a lot of people agree with that. But yeah,
I was happy with those lines. Yes,
you did good with those. All right, this is a similar question to earlier, but this time I'm sure you can say Wario Land 2, because it says, "What is your favorite Nintendo game?" That's from Good Boy. He asked that.
It's not Wario Land 2. It's gonna be Pokemon there. Because if we're doing all of Nintendo, really it's kind of like a split between and The Legend of Zelda, because I've played almost all the Legend of Zeldas. what Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time on the N64, those always have had a special place in my heart, and I'm so excited for the remake of Link's Awakening coming out.
Me too, man. Oh my
in
god,
like
like 1 month.
a week and a half.
Oh, really? It's that close? When does it come out?
Maybe it is a month. I'm not sure. Why? Wait,
It's
maybe
September. It's 100% September. So it's coming very soon.
my wallet is gonna hurt in September because there are so many cool games coming out. There is a remaster of Final Fantasy VIII coming out. That's another series that I'm just obsessed with. Links. I'm actually looking this up because this is gonna bother me. Links. Oh.
It's definitely September. And then we got Breath of the Wild 2 coming up as well. Like that's ooh. Yo, that's
it's September 20th. You're right. Because Final Fantasy VIII comes out in like a week and a half, or the remake of it does, remaster, excuse me. But I got to give it to Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
Which is the year Pokemon came out.
Wait,
It's
so
the
that
original Red and Blue.
that would have been 1990. Because you were because you're 27, so that means you would have been born 6 years before me. So you would have been born in 93, so that would have been 1997.
92, 96. And then 96 is when Pokemon dropped.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then just every Pokemon game that ended up coming out, I would buy and play.
My favorite Nintendo game's got to be like one of the Zeldas, 100%.
That does not surprise me at all. I know your affinity for Legend of Zelda, and I know that your favorite Smash Bros. Character is Link.
Oh yeah, man, Link's been a long time main. Every Smash game, like he's always a main. Like I've gotten pretty good with him too. Like next time, if you ever do another Smash versus subscriber stream again, I can give you a run for your money with Link, man. I've gotten really good with him.
Take you up on that. I don't know what my plans are for Twitch, but I might have something like that on Twitch.
Nice. Yeah, I'm interested to see how I do against you when I win that rematch, because yeah, I've done a lot of practicing with Link since then. I hate playing quick play because I feel like that's a good way to train, but also like there's so many trolls and spammers in quick play, and it's like it's just the most infuriating thing ever. So I think my current GSP with Link is like 2.1 mil, and I had him up to almost 4 mil, but it kept on dropping because of stupid fight conditions and just trollers and spammers. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I wish they did what they did in Smash 4, where they had it separated, so you had casual play, and then you had ranked play.
Yes.
I don't think they do that for Smash 5. It's just all quick play.
Yeah.
It all goes into your ranking.
Our next question is from the Gaming Dial. First, how are your videos made? Are you ever going to revisit some of the old FNAF fan games like Return to Freddy's, Five Nights at Tubby Land, etc.?
First part of that question, how are my videos made? This changes every once in a while. I currently use OBS to record both my gameplay and my face cam. If I'm streaming, I actually use something called XSplit. But in terms of just videos, I use OBS, and then after the video is recorded, I will put that into Adobe Premiere, because that's what I use as an editing software, and I just kind of go from there. Go into more detail, because then it just turns into, okay, however I need to edit. Of course, most of the time, nearly 95% of the time, I get rid of the green screen so that it kind of looks like I'm almost in the game a little bit. Now that may change in the future, so... but then in terms of returning to old games, I will only return to an old game if I feel particularly nostalgic about it, if there's a particular need. Other than that, I don't see myself going back to a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's games. I like Five Nights at Freddy's. I really like a lot of the fan games. However, sometimes I just get tired of Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't want to play... that's why, I don't play an enormous amount of Five Nights at Freddy's games on the channel. I mean, this past like week or so was an exception just because Jollibee's and Five Nights at Candy's remaster dropped at the same time. And I'm like, I got to play these right now. I'm in. Because I was really excited for both of those games coming out.
I was too, and they were both good.
But yeah, I don't see myself returning to like an old game like that unless I kind of maybe do it on Twitch if I feel like it. Just kind of like as a one-off. Again, you also have to think like a YouTuber here. If no one is playing, if it's kind of like, it's pretty risky to play an old game because no one is going to be searching for that game on YouTube. That's why you see the moment a game, particularly in the indie horror game community, you just see all the horror YouTubers play it immediately. But if there's a reason to play an old game, that would also like contribute to views, then I mean it would make sense. I think Daka right now, he's replaying Five Nights at Candy's 2. There's not a lot of great FNAF games coming out for him to play because he's primarily related channel. But everyone's searching for Five Nights at Candy's because of Five Nights at Candy's remastered, and so for him, it's a really easy transition to replay Five Nights at Candy's 2. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to think like a YouTuber here.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I know you do. I'm just kind of like just asking that hypothetically.
Yeah.
Not hypothetically, rhetorically, to everyone listening.
Right. Okay, next one is from Dat Cowboy Gamer. Do you still think that Omar should be with Chica?
No, that is a toxic relationship.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
That's pretty toxic. There are rumors like 2 years ago that Chica, he left Chica, right? And then Chica went to me. I don't know where those rumors started. I will deny those rumors until the end of time.
I didn't know that part. I didn't know that she was. When was that? Like, when did people think that happened?
The hell if I know. It just appeared in my comment section.
Well, the FNAF community has got its weird side, doesn't it?
It has its sides.
Yes, that's a better way to put it. It has its sides.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
Okay, next one. This one's from PSI Kirby Gamer. He asks, why do you get scared easily? Are you just, I guess he means like are you jumpy? Like just, because for me, like, with jump scares, like something's got to be like really like freaking loud and like super in my face to get me. But like, what about you? What gets you about jump scares specifically?
The fact that it's not there in front of me, and then all of a sudden it's there in front of me. I person. And I think there's a couple questions, both on Twitter and on your community post that ask about me being scared or me being jumpy, that sort of deal. I am a very jumpy person. No, I don't fake my reactions because every once in a blue moon, someone's like, "Oh, this is the stupidest reaction. You're so fake." I'm like, "You don't know me at all." I hate haunted houses. Because here, it's so funny because I really like games and movies. Like, I will go by myself to a horror movie. So I can go see the movie if I don't have like a friend to go with. Be scared the entire time, but enjoy it. Now, what I don't like is when it gets a little too real and in my face. That's why VR scares the ever-loving hell out of me, as well as anything resembling a haunted house. I was about to say the last time I went into a haunted house was back when I was 8 years old, but that's not true. A fun story. 2 years ago, me and my girlfriend at the time were in Galveston, Texas, and we were trying to figure out some stuff to do. And I like horror, and we came across this article for a it was going to be kind of like a ghost story, because back in 1900 there was this big hurricane and that really ruined Galveston, and a lot of ghost stories came about because of that, and that interested me. But she apparently already knew, like she knew it was a haunted house. So basically I inadvertently entered a haunted house, and I hated every moment of it. I walked about a third of the way through the haunted house, constantly being jump scared. There's not going to be a story time at the end of this or anything, is there? Okay, so that was fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in a legit haunted house. I don't know if I'll ever be in one. I mean, I guess it's just knowing that it's fake. Like it's like with a movie. It's different with a movie because you know a movie is fake because it's a movie. But you know when it's a haunted house, it's like with the movie you get a. Okay, I'm trying to make sure my point makes sense here, because with the movie, you know it's fake, but at the same time you get immersed in it. Like you forget that it's just actors on a screen. But with the haunted house, like, you know, it's like, okay, well, this is just a house with spooky props and people going brrr. It's like, I don't know. It's never interested me. But I guess I could see what interests other people about it. But yeah, I wouldn't say I hate haunted houses. They're just not my forte.
They are not mine.
Okay, I think we're gonna move on to Twitter now, because there was one question here that I'm not going to ask, and I don't think you'd probably be comfortable with answering it. And then this last one was asking, why do you scream a lot? And you basically answered that, you know, in the previous one, saying that,
because I get scared.
Yeah. Okay, I like this one. This is from Dave. So, Dr. Salmon, would you say you're becoming more and more desensitized to jump scares in general, or do you think you'll be forever tormented for the rest of your life?
A little bit of both. And this piggybacks off of the last question, right? So when I first started YouTube, I didn't really become a horror fan until about 5 years ago. And I felt that I wanted to push myself to play some horror games for the channel. If you don't know, not you in particular, Bud, but for those listening, for those of you who don't know, originally when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted to primarily be a Pokemon channel. I wanted to be a Pokemon YouTuber, but someone who also played some other stuff off the side. And so if you go back to my very, very, very first games that I played a really horrible translation of Pokemon Green. I played some old classic Nintendo games. I played like a hack or two of something. But then I also thought, well, I should probably throw some horror in there just to see, you know, what the response was going to be. And I remember dreading that entire day to record Slender the 8 Pages. I was dreading it. Because I knew already how scary it was, because I've already like played it a little bit with my fraternity brothers when I was in college. Great. And so that was and was playing those horror games. I feel like if you listen to like my voice when I actually end up becoming scared or get jump scared, there is a bit of a shift in my voice.
Yes, I agree.
Kind of indicating that, oh crap, like that has gone away significantly. If I were to sit down and play Slender the 8 Pages, I would actually mostly be okay.
I would too.
I would be jump scared for sure and scream. That's just, I am a jumpy person, but I wouldn't be as scared. So yes, I will be forever tormented if things just keep popping up in front of me, and I will continue to yelp. But I am getting, because now I'm like, oh yeah, the new horror game came out. I'm excited. When that shift happened, I have to credit it to YouTube, as I played more YouTube video games, horror games, I became more accustomed to them. And so I would play them, more people would watch them. This is moving forward.
Yeah. I hope that they release a new, like, AAA horror game soon, because we need another one of those. I heard that there was an Outlast 3 in the works from my friend Spencer. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think he said that Red Barrels actually has been discussing that there might be an Outlast 3 coming. And hopefully it's connected to the first game, because I personally did not like Outlast 2 very much. I
never played Outlast 2. I only know Outlast 1.
I don't recommend Outlast 2 because it's too long. It's not, from what I know, it's not connected to the first game. It's got like a couple of references to it, but it's a different story. It's a different setting, and the only similarities are the camera and the night vision. That's the only similarity to the first game. The first game and its DLC are far superior to the second game. That's my opinion. There might be people that enjoy the second game way more, but I think that the first game will always reign supreme. And maybe if there is a third game, hopefully it'll be like the first game. Maybe a return to Mount Massive Asylum, and it's all like broken down and dead, and that would be interesting. What is our next one? Next one's from Padre Snowmizzle. He says he's got two questions here. The first one is because he mentioned that like there was a rant that you wanted to do about Baldi's Basics, and he says, what about it seems absurd in terms of difficulty as a player to dev question?
I was getting upset at the Baldi game because I felt that to succeed and get more views as a YouTuber, and this isn't necessarily entirely true. I think I was a little off base when I said this, that I have to beat the game, that, I have to, be one of the first ones to beat it, that kind of thing. And I wasn't feeling very great about, sitting here and sacrificing my mental health. Wasn't enjoying. Even though kind of YouTube was pushing everyone to play the game because Baldi was hot. If you played Baldi, you were going to get some views out of that. What I'm about to say, I totally stand behind. I feel that ever since Five Nights at Freddy's 1 came out back in 2014, there's been kind of a shift in horror games, particularly surrounding, anything related to Five Nights at Freddy's, but also in a couple other games as seen, with Baldi, that there is some sort of all max ultimate super mega ultra mode that if you beat it, hooray. Games aren't really about being scary anymore, but they're about scaring you for the first 30 seconds, and then the rest of it is just the best way to beat it, and then beating the most difficult version of the game, right?
Yes.
So it's not as much. Take Outlast, for example, because we just had that conversation about that. Outlast is a fantastic game. It's not particularly hard, but it's more that, like, the more scared you are, the more difficult it is.
And it gives you the option, too, to make it harder if you want to.
It does give you the option to make it hard, right.
I like that, and I like that.
Right. But that was a game that, it's more about the story, it's more about the immersion, it's more about being scared rather than... I'm not sure how to describe it, but like beating some ultimate mode. So I still feel that horror is moving that direction, unfortunately. And I attribute that to, there are like some really great horror games out there, but they don't, as a YouTuber, they don't on YouTube, or at least I'm not in the space where my subscribers necessarily want to watch that, right? Yeah. And so, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's a shift that has happened or is currently happening. And it's more, I'm just saying it factually. I personally don't like it. I want to see scarier games for a horror game, but really I just, I got to go with the flow there.
Yeah, and real talk, I do not like Baldi at all. I just, it's just the first time I played it, like, it was scary, like, for the first probably 20 seconds when Baldy was like going after you with the ruler, and after that it just became a chore. Originally because you remember how luck based the original version of it was, and when something is luck based, that's one of my pet peeves, is dying to things in games that I have no control over. And Baldi's was 100% RNG. That, and I just didn't like the game. And, you know, I know that there are a lot of people out there that I'm surprised I haven't gotten any requests to play the new demo of the full game that's come out. I might play it just for the sake of seeing how it is, but personally, for anybody wondering my real view on Baldi, I do not like it. I did not enjoy myself when playing that game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just not my taste. I don't like how it's structured. I don't like. I know it's supposed to be a joke type of horror, quote unquote, heavy quotes there, game, but it's just not my cup of tea. And I'm sure that I'm not the only one that thinks that.
I hate the concept of Baldi in terms of it being the game that it is. I love the concept behind it. I love grew up in the 90s or like really it's like in that mid 90s era, I believe it was, that there were computer games that looked very much like Baldi's game, right? It felt like it was designed in that manner. Of a childhood game turned horror. In a way, Baldi has the feeling of a .exe. Things all of a sudden go not horribly wrong, because I really feel like Baldi's could be much scarier. I love that concept. I don't like how difficult it gets. Like the difficulty, you gotta do it over and over and over and over. You're seeing the same thing. You spend 9 minutes doing the same thing over and over, and then you fail. That I don't like. So sure, my hatred of Baldi is just like one piece of it. I love the concept and I actually really like the characters.
The characters are good. It's just
giant joke and a meme, and I love that. I really do.
Yeah. I think my hatred for it, I think, is similar to yours. It's just the RNG of it. It's just I hate luck-based things. I absolutely despise them, because that's not how games should be. Games should be focused on how you play and your skill set, not by hoping that a certain thing will happen to where you win. I do not like games that do that.
Cool with that being, personally, I'm cool with that being an attribute, kind of like a side portion of the game. So kind of like the all max mode Nights at Freddy's, right? Because there's clearly some luck in there, but you don't have to be super duper lucky to beat the normal part of the game. That, you know, if you have the skill, you will get through it.
Yeah, up until all the way through up until night 6, you know, it's very much based on, you know, but yeah, all max mode is where the luck becomes involved. And I mean, if you're gonna make a max mode luck based, that's fine. And it's a max mode; it's not required. But it kind of feels like it's required though, because like you said, you know, that's kind of like the trend now with FNAF games. It's like, it feels like you gotta beat all 5 nights in night 6. You gotta unlock the extras. You gotta look at the extras. That's what everybody wants to see. And then you gotta beat the all max mode. It's like it's just a system now, and that's not originally what max modes were supposed to be. You know, the original max mode in FNAF 1 was not meant to be beatable. Scott himself couldn't beat it. And it was just meant to be an ultimate challenge that was there for anybody who wanted to see how they could do with the hardest mode. But then once people started beating the max modes, it just started becoming a thing. And I don't know.
And then why I grew very fast in my second year of YouTube was because I had a little bit of time on my hands, so I sat down. I started beating some of these all max modes for 5 nights at whatever. It's like all these 5 nights at copies. Have that time anymore. See, if I had the time to actually do, because I like challenges like that, I don't mind them if I have the time to do them. Nowadays, I don't have like 6-7 hours to recording. And so unless I feel very, very confident, or if I'm doing it for a live stream as like kind of like a not to say a throwaway live stream, but a live stream that I feel like, I feel like live streaming. What can I play? Okay, we can give this a shot. I have shifted away from all max modes, honestly, for my mental health, because I moved away from trying to use my completion of an all max mode to get views on YouTube, and rather use my personality, my commentary, and my energy get views. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for the main part of the game, yeah, that's what I do. Like I never
and then not worry about the all max mode unless I feel very confident about it.
Yeah, same here. And people are be like, "Oh, you're gonna go," because when I streamed Candies Remastered, I beat Night 6, and I tried out that freaking Shadow Knight 8 thing, and I tried out the all max mode a couple times, and I just thought, I don't have the patience for this. And people are like, "Oh, you're gonna go back to that?" Like, I don't think so. I don't really want to. It's like it's so many people have already shown off videos of it anyway. So like, if I were to do a video on it, it's like, oh, well, oh, you beat it? Okay, good for you. I've already seen somebody else beat it. So, But yeah, I agree. It's like, usually if I'm going to beat in all max mode, I got to know that I'm going to be able to beat it in a specific amount of time. Because, like I told you before we even started recording this, these days I'm juggling classes and my new job and all that while trying to make videos. So I barely have enough time to record. How am I going to have enough time to sit down and try to beat all max mode? It's like, it's very difficult.
Yeah, but hey, God bless anyone who, does go through and beat those all max modes, because, both you and I know how much it takes. And I'm not trying to talk down on anyone who attempts to beat them or makes videos about them. It's just something that I feel that I can't do anymore, even though a lot of people ask me and you. But like, just take J-Ski Bean, for example. This man has a knack for pushing through some really tough, right?
Yeah.
Like not even FNAF, but like the Shopping Nightmare 2 that a couple of us got, right? I think you got that as well.
I did, yes.
I think J-Ski Bean, did you beat it?
No, I got only
I didn't think
9.
So.
I got like 9 out of the 20 money bags. Like,
right. Right. So J-Ski Bean beat that one. He beat Baldi pretty early. He beat the Ultimate Custom Night. That is a dude who, like, he's really putting in that effort. I hope he doesn't get burnt out, but God bless him.
Yeah, agreed. All right, and then part 2 of Padre's question. He says, what would you, as a massive SpongeBob fanatic, love to come out of around the clock, both in the short term and long term as a player experiencing the game?
God, references probably. I'm trying to understand the question a little bit. Is he asking about like particular references from SpongeBob that I would like to see, or just my general experience as a SpongeBob fan for around the clock?
I think that's what the latter. I think he's trying to say, like, what do you hope to like get out of playing this game as a SpongeBob fan?
As a SpongeBob fan, I definitely would want to see some classic references. A couple maybe not as well known references, which about, because I know a little bit about the direction for Around the Clock, and I'm actually going to be a voice actor in Around the Clock. I've already sent him some voice acting stuff. I'm going to voice act. Remember the surfer guy?
It's been forever since I watched SpongeBob. I'll have to look into that, but I think I'll have to look into that. But I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He made me experience high tide. Oh, that guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that rings bells.
Yeah, you gotta go back and watch some SpongeBob, dude.
I do. It's been quite a long time.
So maybe some classic references, particularly from like the first 4 seasons of SpongeBob, like the golden era of SpongeBob, as it were. But other than that, fix the shape of the map.
Yeah.
Yep.
It took me a second to realize what you were mentioning there. Yes, please do that. That's
a joke. I know the devs already know about it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just watch any of our videos on it, and you will notice immediately what we mean. It's a questionable shape.
I really like the direction that Around the Clock is going. I feel that maybe Around the Clock might be touched a little bit with this idea of making a difficult game. Look at the Doodle Bob part. That's tough. That's very, very difficult. So trying to avoid making an insanely difficult game, which I don't think that's Padres and Dave's intention, is to make like this absurdly difficult game. But I would caution them, because I've seen like one or two Let's Players who got frustrated with how difficult of it was, particularly the Doodle Bob part, and then that makes them not want to continue the game, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that's the only thing that I would caution about, but that as like an all max mode, it's something that it's SpongeBob related, and so I really am enjoying putting in the time to figuring it out. I think maybe it's just because I'm just a big SpongeBob fanatic that and like it didn't take like how do I put this? That when you put in so much time and effort into one attempt and you lose, it drains you so fast. While 30 seconds in like fighting Doodle Bob and Around the Clock, that's really okay, because if you know exactly what to do, you can beat the night in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you can.
Just don't drain you. Does that make sense? So like, look at Welcome to the Game, playing upwards of 8 hours for one attempt. That's I want to play the game.
I don't have the time. I do not have the time. All right, this next one is from Twisty Hornet. Been lurking in your Twitch streams for a while, really liking them. Do you think you'd ever attempt to bring that stuff to YouTube eventually? And I think he means like bringing stream highlights from Twitch over onto YouTube.
No. There's a reason why I stream on Twitch, and that's because I really am a little scared to live stream on YouTube, just because of the way the YouTube algorithm is set up as compared to Twitch. So the YouTube algorithm, it, at least to me, I'm not gonna say that I am the suppository of all knowledge here. That I say with a grain of salt. I don't believe that YouTube is very well set up for live streams. Live streaming on YouTube is a lot of fun. I think the super chat idea is great. I think the memberships that they are setting up is great. There's a lot of great stuff to live streaming. But I don't think the algorithm to incorporate live streams as videos. I think YouTube sees live streams more as videos than actual live streams. Like, they see them as very, very long videos that no one's going to watch. And so they push those live streams down, and therefore, unfortunately, starts to push your video down. Now, that's how I see it, and because that's my experience with YouTube live streaming. Now, of course, like, everyone's experience is a little different, and I may be speaking off base here. I'm just going with what I've observed myself and what I've seen happen to a couple other people. Live streaming on Twitch, it's not really like that. It's kind of it's organized by like what game you're playing and then how many people are actually watching you. I mean, live streams aren't kept forever on Twitch, and so there's not this giant backlog that you have to fight for attention. So it's just kind of always updated. On Twitch, I have the freedom to just kind of do whatever I want. Twitch is kind of like my breakaway from doing something horror. Play some old classic games that I've tried to play on YouTube, but unfortunately have more than helped me. because people want to come to my channel to primarily watch horror, or Five Nights at Freddy's, or the next Slender Man game, or Dark Deception. They don't really want to watch, part 23 of my Pokemon Heart Gold Let's Play, right? So, moving all of that, all of my scratch, like, I really want to play a nostalgic game, like, move that to Twitch is my way of separating that out. And so, now I'm not saying that I won't play anything horror on Twitch. I'm not saying I won't play anything non-horror on YouTube, but separating it out so that members of my community can watch whatever I'm playing on Twitch as well, while everyone who wants to only watch horror stuff can, what I'm uploading on YouTube is what they came there for.
That makes sense.
Right. And so I don't really plan on, so like right now I'm playing Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah, I've seen, I get notifications whenever you go live, and I've seen you playing the Banjo-Kazooie games, and I need to do that. I need to go back to Twitch. Like, I haven't streamed on Twitch in, like, I'd say over a month. I'd say it's been a month and a half. But I need to do some more Breath of the Wild Master Mode, because that's always pretty fun.
Right.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I agree, and I need to start getting back into Twitch again.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is from Chaos. If you ever got tired of the horror game genre, what other genre of games would you primarily want to focus on? If not, is there any other type of content that you would be interested in making?
And Pokemon for sure. I started YouTube to become a Poketuber, and it just ended up not working out that way, which is totally fine. I love what I do. I love the games I make, and I love the videos that I make, and I love the way I make them. But I've always wanted to. That's why I started a second channel called PokeSalmon. That channel's on hold right now because Pokemon is very, very time consuming. It would be really great to dive into Pokemon and have like a really solid fan base for Pokemon. If you're interested, I do have like various or full Pokemon Let's Plays on my channel from way back. You just type in TheGameSalmon Pokemon, some of that will pop up. But another one that I would love to dive into is just the entirety of the Final Fantasy series. I love Final Fantasy. I love those RPGs. I really love fantasy RPGs. I love like the Dragon Quest series. There's a series called Secrets of Mana. Yeah. Oh, that's a great series of games. They're all like named something different. In fact, the first one in the series is called Final Fantasy Adventure. It's a Final Fantasy game, but it's not a Final Fantasy game. It gets a little confusing, but things like that.
All right, so this next one is from Axios. With your background in psychology, do you ever sit back and think about how the character in the horror game you're playing is affected mentally by the experiences they have in their respective games?
Wait, are we talking victim, or are we
I think
the character in a horror game. So really anyone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he means who you're playing as in the game.
As in the game.
Like say Miles Up, sure, in Outlast, for example. I'm sure that's a good one to think about, because you are him. Like you look down and you see his body. You are him, and you can kind of. I'm sure it'd be interesting to like think about what's going through his mind, like as he's running through these dark halls, chased by these maniacs. I've always wondered just what his thought process is when he's going through that.
To answer the question, no, I don't ever sit back and think about how the characters are affected mentally, because I'm focused on the gameplay. I want to learn more about the gameplay rather than like what the character's actually thinking. A lot of times I have played a game that I don't think the character would do that. But I think we all do that. Like, you're watching a movie and you treat it like a soap opera. It's like, don't open the door. Don't open the door. You open the door, you're dead. Like, what do you think was gonna happen, right? And so,
Exactly.
I would imagine that a lot of the characters who I play as going through a horror game would experience a lot of mental breaks, or whether they just be I guess haunted by the memories moving forward in life. Like, the thing is, people who go through traumatic experiences, the symptomology after that can vary wildly. With stressful situations very, very differently. So it's hard for me to see. I'm more about analyzing what are their current symptoms, and then, okay, where can we go from here to alleviate these symptoms so that the person, or in my case, I work with kiddos, so that these children can grow up and lead productive lives in society and get their education.
All right, this next one is from Malachi Graham. He says, I got a question for both of you. Who is your favorite or main for Smash Bros. Ultimate? You first.
Waluigi. My main is Incineroar. I just really like. Yeah, he's just a fun character. I don't like his up B. It's always kind of scary when I use his up B, because I can very easily just self-destruct and fall off the map. My dude, I am so excited for Banjo. I am so ready for my boy Banjo-Kazooie.
It was so fun watching, like, those compilations of streamers, like, reacting to the reveal during E3. Like, people were just... it was like a magnitude 10 earthquake sometimes. Like, people were so freaking excited. I need to sit down and play the Banjo games before he comes out, because, like, I have seen gameplay of them, but I have yet to experience them for myself, and I need to do that. So when he comes out, I can enjoy the experience. But for me, Link, 100%. I have always been.
I knew that.
I have always been a longtime Zelda fan, and ever since, because Brawl. Interestingly, was my first Smash game, and because I remember there was a friend that my mom had at work because this was right around when I got my Wii and for Christmas, so this was, I think, several months after. God, what was his name? Like Mr. Jason or something. It's been years and years. And I remember whenever I would have trouble with Subspace, I would email him and in my 9 or 10-year-old gibberish and be like, hey, Mr. Jason, how do I do this? And it's like, but that was my first Smash game, and I loved playing as Link right off the bat. And then I played Melee after that, and of course played Link then. And I also played as Link whenever I played Smash 64. And I played like a total of 5 minutes of Smash 4. I never had a Wii U. And the only time I ever played Smash 4 was when I went over to my friend Chris's house, and he had a Wii U, and we played Smash 4 once, and I played a round or two as Link, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, immediately when I got Smash Ultimate, when I did my first classic run, I immediately picked up Link, and I was trying so hard to find out how to get him in World of Light, because I felt like I needed to get him to be able to win some of those freaking battles. And, some of the World of Light battles are just so freaking stupid. Like, I hate...
They get very absurd.
Yeah. But yeah, hope that answers your question, Malachi. For Sam, it's a Cineroar. For me, it's the Linkster. What's our next question? Osama1809, he says, what inspired you to become a YouTuber, and what was your very first video?
let's see, the inspiration becoming a YouTuber. I'm trying to think how I even ended up YouTube gaming. I know that I was just going down the YouTube rabbit hole one day in 2014. I think it was sometime in October 2014. I was just watching YouTube videos and I stumbled upon Yummy Mash. Now, Yummy Mash is a friend of Markiplier's. I didn't know anything about YouTube gaming at this time. I didn't know that there was just this giant world of people playing games on the internet. I just didn't know. I knew it kind of existed. I didn't know how pervasive it was. I ended up starting to watch a lot of Ash's horror playthroughs, but I also loved that he was also playing through Pokemon. So I'm like, holy crap, let me just watch this guy. And then my world was kind of opened up because Five Nights at Freddy's dropped. He played Five Nights at Freddy's, and then I watched Markiplier play Five Nights at Freddy's. Then I started watching a lot of Markiplier, and from there I just a lot of YouTubers. But then I don't remember when it happened, but it was like, I can do this. Give this a shot. And so and it was a very split-second decision. Because I get this question all the time. How did I come up with my name, TheGameSalmon? And I don't have this amazing story. I don't particularly like salmon. I created my name in like an hour and a half. Like the day I decided to make a YouTube channel. Was asked the question like, oh, what would you like your YouTube channel name to be? And I'm like, oh God, I didn't even think about that. And so I thought that, okay, my name is Sam. Salmon, okay, that has Sam in it. I'm going to be TheGameSalmon. That's okay. I can always change it later. And here we are.
Well,
Stuff.
I think it's interesting, but I think it's a fitting name. Yeah, I would tell the story of my channel name, but that's a long story for another day, and we've already been going for like an hour and a half at this point. Yeah. Let's see. I would think that these next couple of questions kind of blend together a little bit. So I will ask both, because it's from Moto and from Molly, and they're both about like the state of FNAF right now. So I'll ask Molly's question also while keeping Moto's question in mind. Hey Salmon, how are you feeling about FNAF kind of starting to die? And when it does die, will you post other scary content?
I don't mean to laugh. I think that question's just a little off base. Oh, I also see that she says I'm really funny and likes my Waluigi hat, which I appreciate.
Yeah. The Luigi hat, the Waluigi hat is sticks out. It does.
Become iconic. I don't think FNAF is starting to die. I think that FNAF is experiencing the same Pokemon Go. So back in 2016, everyone was playing Pokemon Go. Everyone was playing Pokemon Go.
Even I played Pokemon Go, and I'm not like...
Yeah, see, people who had never heard of Pokemon play Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I've never, I know a lot about Pokemon, I've just never played Pokemon, but I do know a lot about it, but I played Pokemon Go. And I remember just everybody on my campus just walking around, because that was, my first year of college in 2016, and I remember just the summer of that year when I was in, a little summer thing they were doing, people all over campus walking around with their phones playing Pokemon Go. And then 2 weeks later, nobody. People just stopped playing it everywhere. And
so a lot of people, when that happened, was like, oh, Pokemon Go's dead. No one plays Pokemon Go anymore. Dude, if you go to any park and just sit there and just watch playing Pokemon Go, because you don't play it or you're not interested in it doesn't mean that it's dead. It just has decreased the interest because the height of the popularity has gone down and, well, more accurately, narrowed down to those who actually are excited and belong in the fandom. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Playing Pokemon Go right now. I have the little plus button. It's been beeping at me constantly. I'm hitting the button. I'm literally playing Pokemon Go right now. I play, like, Pokemon Go was made for people like me, right?
Yes.
FNAF, in my opinion, isn't starting to die. It's just not as popular. It's narrowed down to where it actually should be in terms of its popularity, because you have the people who are most excited about it participating in it. Now, to answer the other question, and when it does die, will I just post other scary content? I am not a FNAF YouTuber. I am a horror YouTuber. I am constantly posting other scary content.
I have that same issue with people like referring to me as a FNAF YouTuber, and it's pretty frustrating because like someone like me who does these Sunday series on, I wouldn't say obscure games. Like right now, I'm currently, my Sunday series right now is Majora's Mask, which, you know, is a beloved Zelda game, one of my favorites. And I'll play games like that. I'll play games like BioShock and Mario and, you know, all these other like very specific genre games, but I'll still be referred to as a FNAF YouTuber, and it's pretty frustrating. And I hate that, you know, it's at least I'm not the only person. Because knowing that it happens to you, it's like, okay, well, I can connect with that person because we can both be frustrated that we try our best to branch out and we're still seen as this particular like genre type of channel, even though we try our best to branch out. It's frustrating. And
I mean, there is a balance to that, because there's something to be said about branching out, but FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's is almost like it's a genre within a genre. It's FNAF within the horror, genre. I was trying to not repeat genre. With that, saying, but sorry.
It's all right. All right, we're gonna do a couple more of these because we're currently running on an hour and a half right now, and I feel, you know, I try to make these episodes like, you know, somewhat, you know, because I think if it gets like to the 2-hour mark, it's like it's gonna take forever to freaking like upload this. So we'll do like 2 or 3 more. I'm trying to find, because there were some of these questions that kind of just blend together. They're, you know, kind of the same. So, you know, I don't get to y'all's question, you know, nothing personal. Don't feel bad about it. Just that it's probably partially been answered already, and several other people have already asked things like it. I'm trying to find one that I can. Oh, here's a good one. This one's from Jerome. He says, "What's one game that everybody hates but you love, and vice versa?"
That's a tough one. I'm going to say this isn't very accurate, because games that I play, there is a solid fan base somewhere, right?
Yes.
That one game I absolutely love playing, but unfortunately, near the end of the playthrough, it just wasn't getting views. Mario the Music Box, a horror.
Oh yeah.
Where you play as Mario, but some really messed up stuff happens. It is definitely.
I've seen bits and pieces of that. It's not something that you want to associate Mario with.
No, not at all. But I loved the story. I loved the artwork. I thought it was just a fantastic horror game with an incredible story, and that gave incredible depth to Mario and like all the characters, including original characters put in for the game. The dynamic between the brotherhood of Mario and Luigi, there was just so much there, and I felt that it just kind of sucked that not many people by the end of the series really watched it. You know, and that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of the way the cookie crumbled.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I have a answer to that question. On my spectrum, I just it's I can't really think of a game that I've played that I really really like and that everybody else doesn't like. That is it's a tough question. I do agree. But I think we could leave it at that there. Let's see. I'm trying to find a couple more good ones. Here's one from Raw Gem. He says, "What is your favorite type of energy drink or drink in general, and do you think you could go a whole month without that drink?"
In college, it used to be Monster, just the regular, can of Monster. I know there's so many flavors out there for every energy drinks. I just, whenever I have an energy drink, it's just the normal version of the energy drink. So in college, I used to drink a lot of Monster energy drinks. Nowadays, I will drink Red Bull as my energy drink of choice when I drink an energy drink. And yes, I absolutely can go a month without energy drink. There's actually, like, over the summer, I actually cut out caffeinated, sugary beverages and only drank water and skim milk just to be healthy.
Wow.
So
Yeah, for me, Monster Energy Ultra Sunrise has held a special place in my heart for a very long time. I remember just drinking it one time and just became, I wouldn't say addicted to it, but it
infatuated.
Yes, I really enjoyed that, and I still do enjoy it today. And I've tried the other flavors because the interesting thing about the Monster Energy Ultras are that they're 0 calories, 0 sugar. So, like, they're not all like stuffed full of calories and sugar and carbs and all that. There's several different types. They've got Ultra Sunrise, they got Ultra Black, they've got Ultra Blue, Red, Ultra Paradise. They've got a bunch of different flavors. But Ultra Sunrise will always be my favorite, though. But I can go a month without it. I have gone a month without it before, and have not experienced withdrawals. So that means I'm not addicted to it. But,
Yeah.
All right, we'll do one more, and then we'll cap off this episode. We will end things off with Sith Destroyer. What is your favorite game and movie of all time? And then for the Jazz Salmon, do you like jazz?
Well, to answer the Jazz Salmon's question, oh, I do, Daddy-o. The favorite movie thing is, well, okay, you know what? No, I'm gonna pull the trigger on this one. I'm a huge nerd, and I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, me too, man.
Say my favorite movie is Infinity War specifically. Not Endgame, but Infinity. I thought Endgame was a beautiful tie-up to the events of Infinity War, but the ending to Infinity War that you had as the credits started to roll was just this almost feeling of loss and confusion of like what happens now.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? Because you have 19, 20 movies leading up to this moment, and then
They lost.
Okay. And so I loved that moment in cinema, and Endgame would not have been as amazing if it wasn't for that moment right? So
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it's. I had a hard time deciding whether I liked Endgame or Infinity War better, and I made like a every Avengers movie ranked video, and in that video I did rank Endgame higher. But now that I've thought about it, I'm like, I guess I ranked Endgame higher just because it. Just the final battle scene just won me over.
The battle scene is
entire freaking
amazing.
movie. The final battle
yeah.
was incredible, and just all the things that happened in it with, like, spoilers if you have not seen Endgame. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. Cap picking up Mjolnir. Everybody coming back, and it's just the grand Avengers theme playing when they're all charged. It's incredible. But now that I've thought about it, I feel there are a lot of problems with Endgame. Especially, the time travel and all the confusion and stuff. But Infinity War is just solid 100% of the way through. And I think that I do believe nowadays, my opinion has shifted a little bit, that Infinity War is not only the best Marvel film, but also I think it's one of my favorite films too, in my opinion.
I mean, there's so many awesome horror films out there as well, but not to dive into those. I watch a lot of movies. Like, one of my favorite things to do is just go to a movie theater that has like like you have dinner in the theater while watching the movie, and like it's also it sells draft beers and things like that. That's like my favorite self-care thing to do. Wait, was I asked about my favorite video game? Oh yeah, no, what's my favorite game?
Oh yeah, that was that. Okay, yeah, answer that.
My favorite game. I'm gonna throw 4 games at you that really defined my childhood. Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance. Dark Cloud on the PlayStation 2. Red and Blue, the original games, and that of course led to my love of Pokemon. And Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Those 4 are I would say are my favorite nostalgic games.
Yeah, I think I've already answered this. I'd say that, you know, most of my favorite games are Zelda games. So, you know.
Yeah.
That's another explanation for another day. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end off this here. Man, this is by far the longest episode of GeniusCast. By far, hour and 43 minutes. Jeez.
Love that.
But yeah, for those of you who did not get your questions answered, I you know, like I said, I'm sorry. You know, most of them were questions that I feel like were already touched upon, and I feel like if we were to just go through all the rest of these, it'd be another 45 minutes to an hour. But yeah, would you like to add anything else before we sign off here, Sam?
Yeah, if you have any of your questions I'm sorry, that was the start of a terrible sentence. If you have any questions for me that I didn't answer or that you're just curious about, feel free to shoot a question on any of my videos, and I'll try to answer it.
Good deal. Well, I think that's gonna end off episode 6 of GeniusCast. Thank you, Sam, for dropping by. It was awesome talking to you, dude. And yeah, this will be up on Sunday. Thank you all for watching. If you would like to check out TheGameSalmon, the link to his YouTube and Twitter will both be in. Would you like your Twitch linked as well?
If you don't mind, yeah, because I'm on Twitch a lot more now as well.
Gotcha. So I'll link your YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch if you would like to go check him out. And if you would like to check out any of the previous episodes of the GeniusCast, I have interviewed several game devs up to this point. If you would like to see any of those, they will be in the end cards of this episode and in the description. So thank you all for listening. Thank you, Sam, again for being here, man. And I will catch you guys in the next episode, whenever that is. And I don't know who our next guest is going to be, but I'm sure I'll figure out at some point in the next couple of weeks. So thank you guys for listening. Have a good evening, have a good morning, or a good night whenever y'all listen to this. Thank y'all. Have a good day. See y'all later.